That's the intro music. Yeah! Woohoo!
Good morning, Star Trek fans. Welcome to Patch 67 and the Mirror Universe, which is entering in today, starting in June, and will actually be pieces of content that we've talked about is going to be long term. So I do want to go ahead and point out my honest things here in the very beginning. I'm not super excited for June as a month, but as a building block of what it can be long term, I think it'd be really interesting. I'm very curious to see if this can have the same long-term value that something like Deep Space Nine does, or even the X-Borg faction. We'll see. But for now, go ahead and warn you, there's a lot coming. But let's get into the notes first. In the Mirror Universe, Part 1, Balance of Power. The Mirror Universe has been shattered. We can't spend all day talking about all that, even though I have an amazing Mirror Universe goatee specifically for this video, because there's so much to go through. Well, we've got to kind of move a little quick. So we're going to start with the basics of what's in here. We've got a new galaxy expansion, the Mirror Universe, which is a new research tree with 75 nodes. There's actually a new token area. It's not just a single token system, a new token area. It's over 20 different systems and much more. The new Apex barrier modifier, which we've talked about a little bit. We'll actually have an in-depth video going through the math of that and kind of breaking down what all exactly that means and how much you can actually earn in this particular month. I believe here to start month 1, the most you can get, I think, is 2,600 from the loop, 2,500 premium, and then another 1,000 from various primes, something around that. We'll do a full breakdown of what all you can earn in month 1 if you want, and go over Apex Barrier there. But we have kind of covered it briefly in yesterday's video. Comment down below, let me know if you actually watched that. A new Terran research tree, new Terran hostiles. We actually kind of saw a little bit of the Terran tree already. I'll go ahead and put that smidge on the screen so you can kind of get a brief idea as we discuss these, as well as new missions, new officers, new buffs, new refinery for the Mirror Universe, new cosmetics, new battle pass, and more, including a big quality of life change that I'm actually really happy about personally. So we'll talk about that in just a second as we get the research off the screen. So I want to look at the officer filter demonstration. Personally, I really like how this works. It does have a lot of pieces to it, right? But I think that's good. That way you can sort and find what you're looking for. You can see the various effects over there on the right side, being able to choose between deployed, not deployed, assignments, etc., and finding who's an isolytic officer, who is, warp range officers. I think this is a very valuable tool. I think in terms of quality of life, it's fantastic. This is the type of stuff that I'm really happy the game is taking the time to make the game easier for you as a player, whether you're level 20 or level 70. These are nice types of updates, so we do like that. Let's go ahead and get into the Mirror Universe. The Mirror Universe is available for players Ops 40 and above. So yes, if you are below Ops 40, there is no major feature for you. You will not be able to participate. This is something for 40 and above and includes 49 new themed systems. Yes, that is quite a bit, and it is located right below Klingon space, as you can see right there, each containing a number of systems designated for Mirror Universe, hostiles, and mining. So there is a hostile loop to the Mirror Universe, as well as a mining portion that you can do. Players can only travel to, through, and out of the Mirror Universe systems by using interphasic rifts, and active ship abilities such as the Disco Jump, the Gorn Eviscerator, Spatial Rip, and Borg Cube Transwarp will not work. Players also note there is no protected cargo, whether earned from mining or defeating hostiles. The reason this is key is if you lose in the Mirror Universe, the idea, the design is kind of like a dungeon in World of Warcraft or Diablo. If you don't complete the dungeon, if you don't make it to the end, if you don't make it to the exit, you lose all your cargo. Now, there is a caveat there. The hostiles in these new systems will drop boxes, as we're used to PvE hostiles doing. But those boxes will have things that are important to this loop inside, so relevant currencies and stuff, instead of just your horizon BPs. So that way, if you do lose or you do die to a hostile or a player in the Mirror Universe, you at least get something for your effort. So here is the basics of how to navigate. For all level eligible players, Mirror Universe begins in the first system with the entry rift. So systems are mirrored in Alpha Centauri, Mirror Wolf, and Mirror Sirius. Spend 300 Mirror Universe entry vouchers to use it. You can get 3 sets of vouchers every 3 days. So basically 1 a day, or you can do all 3 in a singular day. There are 3 rarities of Mirror Rift keys, reflecting the rarity the system it leads to: common, uncommon, and premium. Premium lets you skip deeper into the multi-universe, bypassing other systems. You can imagine, premium implies moolah, money, 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 money. So, rest of you focus on uncommon and common, where the first half of the systems are common, and then to get to the deeper half, you need a different set of keys. Fight new Terran hostiles for loot and mine Trillium mines for raw Trillium A and Trillium D. And this is the moment I actually do want to give a shout out to Copley for actually doing Star Trek lore and canon, actually going through things that happen in Trek. So I appreciate that. I really, truly do appreciate they took the time to study, hey, what can we add to the game if we're going to make this loop a new currency that actually makes sense? Like actually is from Star Trek. Well, Trillium is, so yeah, it might be a small nod to the Overlords, but appreciate, actually having Trek canon in a Star Trek game. I really do. All right, get out of the mirror universe by using extract rifts found in some mirror universe systems. So it's very key to know that of the 49, not all systems have an exit, and there are different exit systems in the common area and the uncommon area. You're going to want to know where those are. And also be warned, just like in Eve Echoes and Eve Online, if you ever played either one of those, probably going to have some people who are gate camping, hostile camping, be warned, be warned. There is no protected cargo. If your ship is destroyed in the mirror universe, your cargo lost, including against hostiles, not just players. All right, eligible players will receive 900 free entry vouchers every 3 days, with more available in the store, as well as a day one gift to help you get started. So everybody will be getting plenty of vouchers to explore this on your own. Now here's the Apex barrier modifier. We did talk about it a little bit, and again, we'll go into greater depth in the video specifically for this, explaining the math of how it works. In short, the Apex barrier is made as simply a second shield or a deflector to make it to where you take less effective hull damage, thus improving how well you do in the game. So basically 10,000 Apex barrier is doubling the amount of hostiles you kill. We went over that basically. While Apex barrier is both PvP and PvE, players will notice the following drastic changes. Players will notice the following that will drastically change the world of PvP as we know it thus far in STFC. 11 PvP only APX barrier nodes in the mirror tree, which again is 75 nodes, so 11 of them specifically for PvP. PvP Apex barrier officers, which we'll go over in a second. 1 mirror universe hostile Apex barrier node in the mirror tree. 3 new hostile focused Apex barrier refits, and 1 new prime. Also should be noted, these hostiles, some of them, you're going to want to have Apex barrier to take them down. Finally, they don't work against Armada, so these will not improve your Armada runs. All right, mirror universe research here. We did go over that and look at it just a smidge. Like I said, this is what we're looking at here, so take your screenshot if you need it, or if you've already got your game downloaded, you can see it there. Apex barrier has both PvE and PvP research, Sigma research for you high levels and G6 players out there, isolated defense and damage, ship +1 shot. That's a nice research. Sync XP daily free claim. We do love more Sync XP. And PvE hostile HHP repair. So that's whole health repair, which again, good overall. We do like that. We do like those abilities. Yeah, okay. Yeah, anyway, that's a lot of nodes. All right, so resources can be sourced the following ways. Common is sourced in the mirror universe. Uncommon is sourced over time via the mirror universe. Remember that uncommon area is another part you have to get to or pay the premium to get there immediately. Rare is sourced from special targets in the mirror universe. Epic is sourced over time from special targets. Basically, these take a long time to grind out. There are 4 different currencies, and a 5th currency, premium, is currently exclusive to events in-game and store. So technically 5 total new currencies for this run. There is the little pick of the research we looked at before. Terran Empire hostiles are single target hostiles per grade, and are investing in the new Apex barrier modifier will vastly improve the chances of beating him. These hostiles can drop 2 types of loot, common and uncommon. Terran Empire hostiles drop uncommon, not only provide greater rewards, but they will require the barrier to defeat them. So again, like I said, that's going to be a must-have for a lot of players. You will note the Dreadnought style Mirror Universe Enterprise D with the 3rd nacelle, pretty cool. And then a Mirror Universe Defiant, which is pretty nice, the ISS. So here we go. Once you travel the system Mirror Hoven, players will be able to obtain both loot types. So we'll keep on scrolling down. There's some raw Trillium A. So here we go. Hostiles have special abilities, dismantlement at the start of the round. If the enemy player is hull breach, the ship increases its standard damage. And then you have deadlock at combat start, hull breach, enemy player for the duration of combat. I need to actually move the text over just a little bit. Apologies for that. And then photophobia at the start of the round, the enemy player's hull breach, the ship increases isolytic damage. So all these will vary based on which hostile you're hitting, and they hit pretty hard. All right, mirror use for refinery and liquid tritium. Like I said, there's a lot in this one. It's a lot. After you've traversed the mirror universe, defeated hostiles, and collected loot, you'll want to use an extract rift to leave. Make use of your haul. Players will be able to exchange raw loot for liquid Tritium D. And liquid Tritium D can be used in their refinery to exchange for several different things. Number one, Mirror Universe vouchers. So going into the Mirror Universe. Mirror Dust, which is what you need to upgrade the research tree. Rift Keys for going into the deeper areas, like the uncommon areas we talked about. NX01 officers are now getting sourced through this loop. Holodeck building materials, forbidden tech, and tokened resources. Actually, some good stuff there. I do like the building materials for the holodeck and the NX01 officers. That's nice. Let's talk real quick about these new officers. You have a new PvP meta, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome in your buff Picard. He's nice, isn't he? And before anybody says anything, yes, it's actually Trek accurate. If you didn't know, this is all based on a comic series that came out. I actually think this is a good comic series. If you haven't read it, there's, I think 5 pieces for sure. I can name, I know that I've looked at. I don't think there's any more than that, but it could be. Anyway, if you haven't, this is based off a comic. So if you're wondering, like, why is Picard wearing this uniform, etc., that's where you're getting it. But Captain's ability on the round starting as players increases Isolate Cascade by a good amount. And then the Anti-Collective start around against players with Assimilate increases your Apex barrier. And that is a pretty huge increase, even at level 1. The new PvP meta is going to be this guy, his friend Data, and the Honor Guard Worf, or this guy Data and Carol Freeman. It's made to counter your current existing run. There is a code that you can use starting today. Remember, you gotta wait till at least 30 minutes after reset. And then finally, Rare Mirror Data. Officer ability is the better one here of the two. Chance to apply Assimilate, which we saw Picard needed. You can also use the actual, officer. Borg officer, Dazok for that. And Captain ability, when on a ship against an interceptor player, increases your Apex barrier. So again, that's very ship specific. If you're fighting a Pylum, very useful. If you're fighting a Coronar, not useful at all. And then lots of different missions. Cool thing about Reginald Barkley here, which is kind of neat. Curious to see how he looks. 3 primes coming out. 3 refits that I actually really like, but sadly these are sell only. And then a Eviscerator refit. Don't forget the Eviscerator event starts this month for free to play. There is your cosmetics and your new hailing frequency and some pretty good bug fixes, including one for the Kashara artifact. Fix an issue where one of the queued hostiles was dropped from the queue. So several different things there. I feel like we sandwiched really good at the beginning with quality of life, some good bug fixes, some even decent skins if you like refits for your ship. Most players are probably either getting near here or looking at those long term or have already reached them, which I guess would qualify everybody. But not getting too long-winded, here you go. I'm honest opinion, it's too much. I'm not happy with how this thing is in terms of day one. It's just way too much. This is the definition of quantity. Long term, if they do it right, I do think this will be a great loop. But there's so much contingent on how much is sourced here and how active you can be, as well as how much gets thrown into the mirror universe to make it more relevant, as in speeding up older loops. But it's a lot. It's a lot. It's a lot, man. It's a lot. That's really all I gotta say. I will play it before I go ahead and dump on it, but I will say, just looking at it, yeah, appreciate May a little bit more. Let me know what you think in the comment section down below. Live long and plunder. Stay safe with the Space Cowboys. Deuces, that's me. Sorry for the length of this video. It is going to be a lot this month, and I'll be making a lot to try to break down all the little minutia of the mirror universe and content for our below 40 players. Don't you wish you were still there? See y'all later. Woo. Woo.
An even better outro than the intro. For the Empire and glory to your house.